Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tomáš Mandičák and I come from Slovakia, from Technical University of Košice, Faculty of Civil Engineering. Together with my colleagues Peter Mésároš, Annamária, Behúnová and Lucia Zemanová, we would like to present our research with title ICT Cost Impact Model in Construction Project Management. This presentation includes 4 parts. First of all, I will talk about problem statement or research problem supported by other researchers. Next, it's a methodology. That means, first of all, the aim of research. Next is data collection. I will talk about research sample and And the last one, it's data processing. Next, I will present results of research, and last one, I give some findings and conclusion of research. Project management, or generally manage a construction project, means effective integration and coordination of resources to achieve a specified goal. According to Kertner, project management is a set of activities based on primarily on planning, managing, organizing, and controlling enterprises or organizational resources with short-term goals that have been intended to achieve a specific objective and intentions. Construction project is closely related to investment activity, according to Všetečka and Belan. In the event of a construction project as an investment processes, the investment process of construction project can be divided into the following phases. That means it's first of all pre-investment phase, next investment phase, and last one phase of use and evolution. Another view of the construction project phase is described by Všetečka. First of all, it's pre-design stage, next it's design stage, and last one construction stage. Depending on individual phases in the construction project, cost can also memorize and at the selected period of time. According to Petrakova, the construction project costs include all the expenditure of the investors or contracting authority of the construction project, which are related to project preparation by implementing and submitting a project to use. The success of CP depends on multiple factors: the intensity and the size of the effect of individual factors. For the success of construction projects is different. For a detailed analysis of these success factors, the identification and specification of factors and the rate and intensity of their impact is essential. Based on these studies, research questions arises as to how information and communication technologies affect the costs of arranging construction projects. It's also necessary to define which information technologies have the greatest impact. The solution to this problem is to find an answer that will be very important for practice. These researches takes into account the situation in the construction industry and is based on the experience of existing project managers. The environment of foreign companies operating in Slovakia raises the premise of the general use of new research findings. This new knowledge can form the basis for important decisions in the implementation and information and communication technologies in the management of construction projects. The assumption that some technologies have a positive effect on reducing cost is the basic of research. If this area or idea is not confirmed by research data, it's not possible to build an economic mathematical model. The main aim of this research is to analyze the impact of information and communication technologies on the costs of construction projects. This process is demanding as the management of CPs. Therefore, in the final part, the ambition is to find an mathematical model of the impact of ICT on the cost of construction projects. This goal stems from through analysis of already implemented work as well as general knowledge from practice. This research is carried out in the conditions of Slovak construction industry and takes these facts into account here. Data collection. The questionnaire was the main tool for data collection. The questionnaire focused on the use of ICTs and their impact on the prospects of construction projects. The questionnaire contained several parts. The first part contained basic characteristics, issues, that means the construction size, the participant in the CP, legal form, activity, and so on. The next part was focused on specific information and communication technologies, their use, a subinitial part of questions focused on the impact of these technologies on costs of construction projects. These data are the basis for the analysis and creation of an economic mathematical model, the so-called cost impact model. And the questionnaire was distributed in Slovakia. Respondents, there are from construction companies, that means from participant of construction projects point of view, there are contractors, subcontractors, designer, and developers, and investors. As a method, above construction companies in Slovakia participated in the research. The participants in the construction projects answered examined questions. The structure of the research sample is shown in the table or in the figures and in the graphic representation. It reflects the representation of construction companies by size and also the percentage of participants in a construction projects. That means left side and the right side. Data processing was performed using several statistical methods. In the first place, it was the processing and description of descriptive statistics, where the primary data were identified. Subsequently, contingency tables were compiled and the data were also divided into the monitored groups. Following these conclusions, several other statistical methods come up which provide a means of summarizing research results. As the aim of research was to analyze the impact of selected ICTs and design a mathematical economic model, the EHP method was used as it is a mathematical expert method. It seemed to be the most suitable means of fulfilling the research goal. The project managers and theirs answered the questions where they determined the level in the following statement. This method truly compared these values, so-called each with each. The basis of this was the creation of a matrix and subsequent interpretation into a graphical form where a summary number was generated representing the impact of the technology. And the AHP method has also been used in the decision-making process in several studies in the construction industry. There were researches to identify key factors in the success of construction projects, the identification and the degree of risk, and the success of implementing various materials and technologies or their impact on the importance of criteria such as economic, environmental, functional, aesthetic, and health aspects. The EHP method has also been used to identify and quantify risks and other factors, which is important in this research. The quantities are the relative significance of the criteria are arranged in a square matrix of related significance. That means there are some pattern EHP method and steps to achieve a final goal. This model has identified the areas with the greatest scope for cost savings, which may be better for directing attention and aiming to save costs. This research identified key information and communication technologies affecting supply chain costs, the individual evolution of the importance of individual categories through expert evolution is unique. The benefit is considering the benefits and specifics of the industry by experts who operate in this market, especially in construction market. The above also present the basic benefits of research for practice and the construction industry. This model is of recommendatory nature based on statistical probability of impact. The values given by the final information technology impact model represent the coefficient of the probability of the impact on cost reduction or cost saving. However, before the impact of these technologies is evaluated and the final model is proposed, it's necessary to describe from the research the real state of use in information and communication technology. First of all, the use of this technology is essential, and so it's possible to examine these impacts. The degree of digitalization in construction is generally insufficient. The potential offered by current technology is huge. Utilization can be the first step to achieving cost saving in the management of construction project. The level of use of ICT varies in the individual phases of a construction project. Information technology in large companies is used at the level of 3.43 in the pre-design stage. On the contrary, in medium and small enterprises, it's only at the level of 2.01, which is significantly less. You can see in the picture. In design stage, the situation with the use of information technology is the best. Large companies reach the level 4.04, which is a high utilization or exploitation rate. Medium and small companies reach the level of 2.17, which is also more than in the pre-design stage. Large companies also reached level of 3.89 in a construction stage. Small businesses had a value of around second, and the overall average reached 2.92. On this basis, it can be stated that information technologies are used in construction, but their potential is still sufficient for this network to expand. The situation is similar when using communication technologies. In the pre-design stage, large companies achieved the use of these technologies at the level of 3.28. For example, for small businesses or enterprises, it was 1.75. That means significantly less. In the design stage, these results were the best. This means that the large enterprises have reached a utilization rate or exploitation rate of 3.87, and medium and small enterprises have reached a level of 2.01. That means you can see in the picture. The construction stage was also a relative phase for large companies where communication technology were used to a large extent, especially for large companies. These values were 3.81 for large companies and 1.77 for medium and small companies. On the next figure, you can see all impact model. That means for every stage, first of all, it's a pre-design stage, design stage, construction stage, but another slides will be described every part or every stage and these results in every stage. The information and communication technology impact model's main goal are to reduce the construction project's cost through information and communication technology. As can be seen from the values, the greatest sense of using information and communication technologies in the pre-design stage. In this stage, this model points to the highest coefficient, which represents the greatest impact on cost reduction. This confirms the research hypothesis that information technologies use positively affects reducing costs in individual stages of construction project. Based on the HAP method, the model was therefore designed that carries a wealth of information regarding the impact on cost reduction in the management of construction project. This model indicates the degree of impact of technology in a particular phase of the project. Communication technologies have greater impact in the pre-design phase. In the design stage, they have a significant share in reducing costs, the so-called document management systems. Their strength was also confirmed in the construction phase. The impact of information technology on cost savings is greatest in the pre-design stage. In terms of specific technology, the best are cloud systems, as well as the use of smartphones and other communications applications, which will effectively help reduce costs in the process of managing construction process. For example, another BIM technologies as well as controlling tools are also effective, which has a direct impact on reducing costs, and price resource planning systems make a significant contribution to achieving cost goal. In other words, they also reduce the cost by using them. Their specific measure is defined in the proposed model. These results are among the main findings of this research. The proposed model points out possibilities of how to effectively contribute to reducing costs by implementing and using individual groups of technologies in construction project management. Research aimed at analyzing the current state of use of information and communication technologies and identifying, quantifying the impact on cost reduction has with several interesting, in some cases, possibly expected findings. The rate of use of information and communication technologies in construction has space for growth. The current situation is not bad, but there is a real space for improvement. The implementation of new technologies can achieve improvements at every stage of construction project. The best results in the exploitation of information and communication technologies are in the design stage. This applies to both groups of technology, that means construction, in communication and information technology. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have some any questions, don't hesitate us. There are some email contacts. Thank you again.